Today we'll explore how to trick zombies to repeatedly run into a wall and fall. Rinse and repeat. It is that easy. Not only that, it is incredibly simple to build, super effective, and can work as an AFK base or a traditional one. Your choice. Stick to the end for all the building tips and tricks so you can try it out yourselves. Welcome, survivors. This is Eerie Knight of the Pseudo Posse, and for this video, I wanted to explore alternative pathing options for getting zombies to do stupid things. While they are busy being stupid, we can coast through the horde no sweat. Sounds like an excellent strategy to me. Now on to the science part. I already constructed this simple pathway that we will test out now. In the middle, we have a gap with half blocks on both sides. On the right, we have bars that will force zombies to jump and hopefully fall into the gap. On the left side of the gap, on top of the other half blocks, we have a simple pole block, the purpose of which is to try to prevent zombies from popping onto the path after falling through the gap. On the top, we have some wedge 60 shapes to try and prevent a full jump and influence zombies to drop down while not moving forward. It does seem to work when there are a trickle of zombies passing through. However, if multiple zombies are grouped together, they can crawl on top of each other and make it to me. I think the pole block is too low to the path and it needs some elevation to prevent zombies from crawling through when they are all clustered together. Let's remove those and replace it with pole-centered blocks, which sit a bit higher up. Now going to spawn in some zombies and, well, that's unexpected. They land on the other side of the bars and are beating on the pole-centered shapes. We may need to take care of this flaw first. Let's remove the half blocks on the bar side. Oops. It appears the half blocks are vital to the structural integrity. That's a design flaw. I really am my own worst enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and rebuild all of that, and this time I will support the other side independently so we don't have further collapses. As for fixing the design flaw, I'm going to try the wedge narrow tips to see if that will prevent zombies from jumping over and beating on the poles. Apparently the half blocks are too wide and we need something more narrow. Wedge narrow. However, it doesn't seem like zombies see it as a path. Too bad. That isn't surprising as the devs nerfed the tip shapes a while back. Maybe let's try the wedge 60 tips? Interestingly, zombies do see it as a path, but it seems they can land on it, meaning it will most likely have the same issue as the half block. I think we'll want something with a straight vertical edge, but thinner, like maybe the cube quarter meter shape. Zombies do see these as a path, so let's give it a whirly-dirly and see what shakes out. Except it seems not here. The gap must be too wide for them. Shoot. Back to the half blocks. I'll just have to tweak it differently. How's about we put in another row of poles centered on top of the bottom row to prevent them from crawling through? That could potentially work by giving zombies nowhere to go except down. Time to test the theory with some zombies. It appears it could potentially work. They seem to fall down through the gap sometimes. They crawl for a second and then drop. The speed in which they fall could possibly be an issue, as large horde could cluster up if they don't drop fast enough. Well, there is one way to find out. Bring out the horde. So far, so good. It looks like it's working, but the railings might be an issue. Several are getting stuck by it and starting to cluster and beat on the railings themselves, while others are jumping over the half blocks and beating over there. Oh, and look at this fucker who jumped over the top. Well, I guess the zombie flow rate issue, but was wrong about the root cause. In any case, we need to keep on sciencing. Perhaps let's try the pole side centered, as it can be rotated to stick out a bit further. This might incentivize them to drop more quickly instead of landing on the other side and beating on the blocks. Going to spawn another horde and see how they react to the block change. That seems to work a bit better, but they are still getting a bit stuck on each other. Not as bad as before, but enough that it could be an issue at higher game stages. We could try to suffer through that and try to prevent them from jumping on top of each other by building an overhang out from the wedge 60 shapes. If we attach some railings on top to stop them from jumping up, and place some railings on the sides to protect the flanks, we could make this work, but it wouldn't be AFK-able, as over time I think the zombies will wear it down by clustering up. If we conduct yet another test, we seem to have solved the zombie jumping on top problem, but I really do worry about them bunching up too much and just beating the hell out of my support supports below or breaking through the pole blocks. What if we replace the railing blocks they have to jump over with something a bit smaller? That could clear some more room for them to pass through faster. Let's try the pillar 0.05 meter middle shape. Get those in place, spawn some zombies, and they're not jumping over it. Rather, they just run over and fall down. That is definitely faster than before, but that begs the question, why need any block there at all? Initially, I was thinking to get them to jump over a block into the gap, as I have done in previous builds with bars, railings, blocks interchangeably. But are they really that stupid that they'll just run into the wall and fall down? Yes, they are that stupid. Apparently, I gave the zombies too much credit. They don't need to be tricked into jumping into the gap. They'll just blindly run into it on their own free will. Well, this is even better than my original intention. The zombies pass on through much faster, and if we make this a bit larger for later game stage hordes, I think this would absolutely work for all game stages. Early game, you can get away with something this size, but that's not me. Let's ramp this up a notch, shall we? I'm going to make this slightly higher. No need to make it super high, although that will prevent zombies from clustering up the higher it is made. But just to show how good this design is, we'll only go a few blocks higher than our test setup. For our late game stage horde base, I'm going to add a bit of redundancy and have two gap sections in case the first one fails. The engineer within me must always have a certain factor of safety. Time for that magic that makes this all work. We'll support our structure with some pulls. In between the supports, I'll add pull side centered shapes to wall off our position from the ravenous zombies. And because I can't resist, I'll use the wedge narrow middles followed by wedge narrow low blocks instead of the wedge 60 shapes because I just love to tease Taco Bear. You're welcome, my dear. No other reason to use these here. Pretty much any sloped shape will work. For our overhang, I'm going to use the cube 1/4 meter blocks instead of the railings in the test setup for no particular reason other than I'm tired of using railings. So I'm thinking below the supports, it may be wise to add a bit more protection to deter zombies from outright destroying them, collapsing our pathway. I'll put in the security gates to add some additional support, and I'm going to dig out a small pit below. I want to prevent zombies from clustering up too much and inadvertently digging, or having a cop or demo explode and destroy the dirt blocks, achieving the same effect. Either way, more protection equals safety. Naturally, we'll need to give them a nice easy way out so they don't all get stuck down here and start beating on everything, defeating the very purpose of the pit. So I'll make it nice and easy for them. And for the hell of it, I'll add some wedge narrows along the supports to have zombies slide down as they fall, thus preventing the rage mechanic. Got to shoehorn these shapes in there just to really anger Taco. Can't resist. And like with the first gap, I'll add some blocks down on the ground level just to deter any digging shenanigans. Okay, so at this point, I've built out the main functional components and added a bit of aesthetic embellishment because I hate just cube blocks. Yuck. And because I hate cube blocks, I don't want to use those along the pathway to protect us against cop spit and vultures. So I will use the 5-meter round shapes to build us a curved tunnel. Instead of doing the full tunnel, we will cap it off with the cube 1/4 meter shape to give us a flat top on our tunnel top. This way you could easily place spikes, blade traps, or whatever anti-vulture device you'd like to protect yourself with. I will choose not to use any deterrent because, fuck it. And with that, let's jump right into the final-ish design. We still need to do another test to make sure our pits work, so this could be subject to some minor tweaking. Zombies will make their way up the stairs either from the front or from the sides closer to the pit. In the back, we have our little walled-off platform that houses the generator for our lights, and provides protection from the rear from cop spit and vultures. Not much else to really show off here. The design is pretty straightforward, so that pretty much concludes the walkthrough of the base. Now, just to make sure the pit works as expected, I want to spawn a horde and see if they behave properly. Wow, this is just damn cool and so effective. It is amazing how such a simplistic design just works this good. But oh no, betrayer! The wedge narrows have deceived me. Well, actually the zombie is technically standing on top of the security gate, but the fake anger is mainly to make Taco feel a bit better after I teased her so much earlier. But looking down into the pit, it appears they are collecting a bit too much. The wedge narrows are not working because I need to extend them out another block over the security gate, but I don't really feel like doing that because I must confess, I need a break from the wedge narrows too. Plot twist! So to make all happy, especially Taco, I will remove all the wedge narrows on the first gap section. Remove the security gate and open it up a bit more so zombies can path back to the stairs much easier. into the fall pit. They were not able to escape fast enough as zombies fell through the gap, thus quickly creating a bottleneck. I'll add some stairs on the side so zombies can run out either side as well. I think this will more or less do the trick. Queuing up taco montage. Hit it! It's now 1 AM and I've been busy doing all the camera work for Taco. I haven't even fought the Horde yet. This base is definitely AFKable, but I want some action now, baby. Round 2. That was exceedingly easy to play and very simple to build. Check and check. The brunt of the damage was to the supports in the pit, but pretty much everything else is untouched. And they didn't even reach the second gap. This design is absolutely effective and will allow you to handle hordes extremely easily across all game stages of the game. Just make sure to scale up the design a bit as you advance. Let us know in the comments below how you would like to tweak the base for some more diabolically creative designs. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more. Special shout out to all of our awesome patrons whose support helps to keep the channel growing and improving. Thank you all so much. This is Eerie Knight signing off. See you all in the next one.